Item E,
Thank
Information Report, Parking Policy Consultant Selection Committee. Mr. O'Keefe and Ignacio David, our traveler.
I'll handle this. It's a very brief report. It's essentially says that we're in the process right now of, we have consultants who have submitted proposals in order to look at the revisions to the parking ordinance policies that both the Planning Commission and the City Council asked staff to investigate, and also to look at the possibility of installing parking controls on the street right-of-way in the North Hollis area. So we need to go through those consultant reports and select a consultant and bring it back to the City Council with a recommendation. We're recommending for this particular exercise that the committee who does that narrowing down be composed of staff, but we wanted you to be aware of that, and you'll see in a subsequent item on tonight for the South Bayfront pedestrian bridge, we're suggesting a somewhat different process that includes both staff and citizens. So that's my report.
Thank you, Mr. O'Keefe.
Okay.
Councilmember Fricke, your comments?
Yes, Mayor Davis, the reason I pulled it is because the process will result in one of the consultants that have submitted their proposal, one coming forward with a recommendation. And what I ask is, I don't have an objection to the staff recommending one, but I would like the staff to choose 3 proposals to bring before this body so that we can look at those proposals and choose from among 3 instead of simply choosing up or down on the one that the staff, the one proposal that the staff recommends. So that's my motion.
Do you have any comments on that, Mr. O'Keefe?
Well, it's different than what we normally do. We usually spend the time at the staff level of screening down for you, but we can certainly do that. If the council wants to spend the time of going through the 3 proposals and making a determination, we could do that. If you'd like to have presentations by the consultants, we can do that. It's just a matter of how you want to use your time.
Well,
Go ahead, Ken.
parking is such an important issue in the city. I don't see why it would not be prudent to listen to different proposals and then make a decision. This way the public would get the opportunity to hear the proposals as well and could comment on them.
Mayor?
Are you suggesting a special study session to bring 3 proposals forward?
Well, it depends on how long it would take, but yeah, whatever's necessary. I think parking
Right.
is just a very important issue.
Yeah, Mayor, I just want to say that I don't agree with that approach. I think we've got a very talented staff, and I think we've had a lot of success over time with these studies and with the system that we use where the staff weeds it down. If there are concerns when we get to that and it's not an acceptable proposal, we can always go back and look at others. But I would just as soon do the system that use the system we've had in the past as one recommendation from staff, and then we look at it to fine-tune it.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you, Dick. We seem to be adding levels and levels of bureaucracy and involvement. One of the reasons we have a council manager form of government is that we rely on a highly professional staff to work through these issues and bring them to the council for policy decisions. Ruth, could you come up here and weigh in on this?
I don't think there's been any issue that's ever been before the council that's gotten more public interest than parking.
What is your opinion,
go.
Ruth?
What's the question?
The question is, Mr. Fricke would like to have, this is on the Parking Policy Consultant Selection Committee, he would like to have the at least 3 choices reviewed by the sitting council. And my Ken supports that, and Dick and I are saying that we have a process that has worked well before, and if something that is brought to us that we do not agree with, we can always turn it down. So you appear to be the deciding
Well,
vote.
let me say what I'm suggesting is that if the 3 different consultants out there that have 3 different ideas, let's listen to the proposals and pick the best one. I mean,
No,
parking.
I think that I don't think that they would be coming forward with different proposals. It's that we are selecting a consultant, and we are selecting an outside professional. And I don't think that, I agree that this is an important issue, but what I'm simply saying is, and I don't need to hear presentations. I would just like to see the proposals from the top 3, and the staff can recommend the one among the top 3 they recommend, but I would just like to see the top 3 and then have us choose, instead of having an up or down vote on the one proposal that the staff is recommending.
Okay.
So, if I think back about other examples of picking groups to work on city projects, I'm reminded that there was presented to the council for the old check cashing place, the Flatiron Project, whatever we're calling that, staff actually made a they presented 2 finalists, as it were, for council selection about who would develop that project and the reasons why. And we actually didn't go with the staff recommendation, and we picked someone that didn't, the second one. And so there is a precedent for us to be offered a choice. And I think it's okay to have a choice of parking consultants to choose from. So,
You have the
that's
direction of the council, Mr. O'Keefe. 3 votes.
Well, Mayor, just before you leave that, could I ask, though, that the staff rate those for us as 1, 2, and 3? So we know who your first recommendation would be, and then second and third.
All right, moving along.
Do you need a motion on that, or?
I think it was an informational report. I believe Mr. O'Keefe has received his direction.
Correct.
Administrative